What is going on, everybody? We are back with another review, and this time we're reviewing The Terror Season 1, Episode 9. And it is called The Sea, The Open Sea. This was directed by Tim Milance, written by So Huge. Listen, I know it's Soo Hugh. I'm just saying. Soo Hugh, episode released May 14th, 2018. And it had a 0.78 viewing rate, which is I think 780,000 people. So basically, what happens is in the beginning we get a little scene where the ladies, the wives, girlfriends, whatever, of the crew are trying to. A couple of them are trying to convince more people to go out looking for the 100 and some odd people that left with the boats before. And she's not getting any takers initially, at least none that we see. So they then have we have the main group and Hickey's group, and up until towards the end, and then we also have everything going on with Lady Silence and the Toonbach. And basically, the Toonbach has gone missing for Lady Silence and crew, for the Inuits. And basically, they've decided that they're going to call upon another shaman to come help find the Toonbach. The Toonbach's going to stay hers, but her and the other shaman are going to need to find where this Toonbach went so they can control it, so he can get at them food. That is all that's done with them. Now that's done. That's that part of the story. And the guy, whoever the shaman that comes, shows up towards the end of the episode, but there's only a couple small segments involving them. As far as Hickey's group goes, Hickey sets up a camp with his group. One of the guys ends up becoming sick, and Hickey ends up stabbing and killing the guy that's sick. Really sick. Like, the guy's not going to live anyways. So Hickey decides to take him out. Dr. Goodsir tries to stop him, but is unable to. And basically, long story short, Hickey eventually makes Mr. Goodsir cut up the body into pieces so that everyone else can eat. They also seem to be off again, on again, following the other group, or at least staying parallel with where they're going. And then that's kind of that for a lot of the episode. Fitzjames finally starts to succumb to his injuries that he's had, and he's in the process of dying, and he requests euthanization, basically. And so they do it. They unalive him for his sake, and basically Crozier does it by using poison of some kind, and they continue on. And earlier, the episode does start off with, as far as their group goes, they did burn all the people they lost to the Toonbach alive, and then gathered and left. So we forgot to talk about that. So then we get Hickey's group again. Hickey's like second in command, or whoever the guy is, does tell Hickey about being afraid of the Toonbach. And Hickey's even like, "You're a Marine, what's there to be afraid of?" There's almost a second mutiny about to happen against Hickey, because everyone finds Hickey to be absolutely creepy and deplorable, and honestly, he's just kind of a necessity right now. Meanwhile, what's his face? Let me see if I can find his name. Blanky, I think is what they call him. his leg stump has become gangrenous, and he basically sacrifices himself to lure the Toonbach away from the rest of the survivors. He ends the episode, and I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this now, with the Toonbach approaching him from behind. As he's sitting there, he did find the passage that they thought they were on, where he stopped, but he's basically going to go down with he's going to put up a fight against the Toonbach, but he knows he's going to die, and there's no way for him to have been saved with the gangrene stump anyways. There's it just wasn't going to happen. So they do what they can, and what they can. What he does is he fights, or I'm guessing he fights. We don't know. Obviously, it ended with him yelling at the Toonbach, so it is what it is. Towards the end of the episode, and the way it kind of ends on the Crozier side, and Crozier and company seems to find a river that they should be able to float across. There's also been birds spotted where they're near, so they're getting close to something. And basically, upon checking out to make sure that they can make it, they're approached from behind by a couple of Hickey's guys. And they're there to collect the guns that they have on their persons, as well as Crozier. They're going to take Crozier back to Hickey's camp. And basically they were also betrayed by somebody in their own group, Crozier and them, who had been working with Hickey's group. So he agrees to go without any fuss, but one of them ends up killing one of their guys anyway, one of Crozier's guys anyways. Crozier tells the other one to go ahead and continue leading the people south, keep going south until they get to where they're going to go. They're going to survive. He will try to catch up if he's able. So that's how that goes. And he is, at that point, carted off to go to Hickey's camp. Now, there's some other things in this episode that I didn't point out in order. You've got a moment where one of the guys in Hickey's group wants to kill Hickey, but he's afraid to, because he also wants to live. And he's afraid that if he kills them, the group is going to kill him. And he confesses all this to Dr. Goodsir. And Dr. Goodsir basically tells him, he's like, well, doesn't say anything. Dr. Goodsir feels like shit for cutting up the dead body, and is just listening to the guy's story on why he's going along with it, because he wants to live, and he's hungry. So if he has to, he'll eat people to survive. But yeah, so that is pretty much this episode. Oh, and then we get, one of the guys that's super sick. If you remember throughout the season, I don't think I ever touched on this during any of the explanations, but there's two guys. One of them is kind of one of the doctors, and who has been working as one of the doctors throughout the entire season. He has one of the guys that he is close with. It almost seems like he's interested in a relationship form, he really cares for the guy, but it also could just be like a really good friend, right? Him and another guy, and the other guy ends up really sick, and he reads from his book that he's carried around with him, which is where the open sea thing comes from. It's something that was written down inside the book, and he ends up walking out of the tent at some point that the guy's in, and just walks off to the middle of friggin' nowhere, lays down with the book and some rocks, and just lays there as he's reading it. And I don't know if he's out there to just basically wait until he passes out, dies, whatever. I don't know what the point of any of that is. So we'll see at some point how this ends. We've only got one episode left, so I'm super excited to continue on. I'm going to record it tonight, as well as the season review and ranking. And yeah. like I said, it'll be interesting to see how this ends. I'm actually super excited for this. I have really enjoyed this show up to this point. So we're going to go ahead and end this here. Thank you guys for watching with us, and we'll see you for the last one. Peace.